Okay, I've got a couple of bits of baseboard inserted with 40mm drop. I'm not going to be laying any track on this. That's 9mm ply. This is only 5mm ply. They've got a single stiffening rib underneath, but they're not carrying anything very heavy. So now the canal will drop into there. I've got some polystyrene, which just gives us a bit of extra height on there. Yep, and I'll have to carve a canal out of there. And the repositioning of this is going to be done such that it stands a little bit further in front of the track on that polystyrene, and the canal is going to come under this archway, and I'm going to carve a river along there. So there's going to be a river running down the valley, as it were, parallel to the canal, or something like that. There'll have to be a little waterfall, won't there? Ooh, right, okay, so I'm not quite sure about the river. We'll just have to see. Yeah, might just be a little brook. Looking at levels and how I can incorporate my lock kit onto the layout. This is the scenic section. So the scenic section, when this was built, was just along one side, and that was the scenic side. And as I've done a wraparound sort of layout, I changed it a couple of times. It hadn't operated. It was operated from behind when the fiddle yard, small fiddle yard, ran behind the layout. I've turned it all around. I've just extended the scenic section a little bit by suspending a bridge underneath the curved, and then stopped, because then I was playing with it and doing other things. And I'd got the track down, I got the track working, got my inclines working, got my points working, curved the points to give me good running and good connection to the fiddle yard. So I'd done a bit of fiddling around there, and as you can see, I did motorize the points and put an extra little control panel in for the fiddle yard. So I did a few of those things. Well, I got a lot of help from one of my friends with this, with that electrical bit. But paused on the scenics. And same at the other end. I played around with the slope, used the building foam to support the slope so that it went up gradually, put a retaining wall in there, and the scenic fizzled out rather than stopping dead at some point, as I pondered what to do with the area in front of the curve there. And I did like the idea of having a mound so the tracks were semi obscured, and that was going to get some scenic treatment. In fact, that was going to be a car park, so I could just put lots of model cars on there. Well, that was the idea. So now, inspired, I need to consider how to get the level change for the lock and how to support. It's never satisfactory having the viaduct suspended underneath that curved section of baseboard. It was always very much just push it in place. And so what I'm going to do now is detach it from the baseboard. I've just marked it. I hope that's sufficient with a pencil on there. Hope that's sufficient. To allow me then to rebuild it onto one section of baseboard, that's onto that one, with a second section of baseboard to be at a lower level, and then to see how those two go together. All in all, a reasonable chunk of baseboard for the scenic modelling. And bearing in mind that what I will have is the most fragile part, being the part that projects above it there. That's just a card viaduct. You know, I'm thinking about it now as I'm talking to you, and what I'm thinking is to fix the viaduct permanently onto anything, onto this board or onto that, leaves it vulnerable. Perhaps I ought to look at a way of reinforcing it along the back so that it's a unit, so that once everything's in place, the viaduct can be pushed into place and tidied up. It's not intended to be a removable baseboard, but maybe I shouldn't be building, because I'm thinking of taking this out of here to do the building. Maybe I should leave it all in here and just start fixing the baseboard now. There we are. Thinking about it, guys. We will see what I end up doing in a later video.